go.
Yeah, for red here.
No, you know,
One HP.
Really slow, really slow.
I have kill.
You can chase. I'm going with flank by the way. They won't expect me.
No, they're all dead, they're all dead.
Go, Jack.
I might be dead.
Yeah. I'm looking here. You? Blue?
Yeah.
No flash, no flash.
No flash
Oh my god.
Carry Ezreal ult.
Bad.
Ezreal is coming, Ezreal is coming. Don't take
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Leave. Okay, good job.
Oh my god, I got so that away.
Good job.
Welcome back to the desk, everyone, as KC takes game one here against MKOI. And I would like to talk about the draft first here. And especially Anitop, I know that it didn't work out the way they expected, but I know that Myrwn has been cooking this one since winter, guys.
Myrwn has been cooking, but for me, the most exciting part about this draft are the KC draft with Sylas and Lilia. One of the big criticisms of Yike in first stand was on carries, he didn't look the best. And I feel like for the same with Vladi, he could play the ranged mage champions so well, but he couldn't really play these melee champions. But I feel like they're taking that first stand experience and they're saying, how can we level up in Europe? And it's great to see.
Yeah, especially because, you know, it's not just the fact that you couldn't play the Sylas back then, it's the fact that you kind of got dumpstered by a Sylas when you're watching Zeka.
We brought back Zeka.
Yeah, but it's like, you know...
We have Zeka at home.
They are just finding ways that they can improve themselves by having, you know, learned you lose is improving and you lost against this and now you're trying to add it. I don't necessarily think that this was a fantastic Sylas spot in the draft here for KC, but they still managed to make it work.
If I may challenge your opinion, you said that the criticism that we had for KC and that a lot of people had for KC was the lack of versatility that they can play. Lilia and Yike is a love story as old as time. He's not only a tree enjoyer, he's the friend of the forest, and he showed it here again. Honestly, unkillable, Lilia, and I feel like people forgot how impactful this player can be, especially on this kind of champions. Absolutely cursed montage from G2 Esports last year, but it is from last year. We know what this man is capable of on this champion.
Yeah, I mean, it was even just when he was just joining the league originally, right? It was the Lilia into Sejuani, where Sejuani was plaking it. Now in a league where Canna is plaking the league, suddenly Lilia is coming through as well. And this guy, it's not necessarily because this is an incredible flashy quarter kill that he's going to be able to manage, but it's just really good positioning, really good movement, really good utilization of your abilities, and he just manages to make a cleanup here that can carry the rest of the game.
And for me, I'm just always happy to see when a team finds success with one style, that they're still able to experiment doing new things, rather than just being like, okay, we won on Skarner and Maokai, so Yike, you're gonna play Skarner and Maokai. They're willing to take these kind of risks and put Yike back on carries, and damn, what a good showing.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about confidence as well, right? For a guy that didn't have the best first stand tournament in the beginning, he has completely just revitalized himself, and you're kind of hoping that you're going to see more of this, because this, I mean, we haven't had too many games just yet, but that has been the biggest jungle gap of the season so far.
I mean, yeah, you sound really excited, but honestly, it makes sense because you look at how high KC got in winter and the success that they found. If they want to take it to the next level, they need to bring this versatility in the draft and into their gameplay. And I feel like we were wondering at the beginning of the day and before the series, what kind of KC are we going to find after first stand, being tired maybe, or taking some of the learnings that they took from here? That's a pretty solid comeback.
Yeah, I was thinking KC would be like, you know, jet lag, tired, less practice, and that this would be a great opportunity for other teams to finally take them down. But instead, I feel like we're seeing a KC that's willing to adapt and take things from their learnings, while also having still gained confidence through their struggles, which is beautiful.
Yeah, I think it says so much about the motivation and the psychology behind the team, right? That when you're getting beaten, like you just realize how big the gap is when you're at an international. And honestly, I mean, it's still big, right? But it's the fact that it seemed like you can claw it in, right? It seems like you can try and close it. And just the fact that you get a taste of it makes you so much hungry for that improvement. And I'm so happy that the first game that we see in KC from LEC is so willing to try all these new things. He's learning from first stands and still utilizing the carry potential of a player like Yike. So honestly, what a fantastic game one from KC.
I really want to see how far we can push it, especially given the fact that it's fearless, especially given the fact that it's best of 3 once again. So MKOI on the other side, they have another shot in this series playing blue side on the second game. We saw them playing yesterday, we saw them playing today as well. It's not the greatest start of the season for MKOI, but why do you identify as the main issues for the team?
For me, I feel like you really need Myrwn. Okay, so this is going to sound hyper-specific, but
Alright.
you need him on a carry, but a scaling carry. Because we've seen him now on the Annie pick, we saw him yesterday on the Aurora pick, and he's good at winning lane, but if he doesn't have a pick, in my opinion, that can transition into a good game-winning pick, they're not going to win the game. Because KOI, to actually snowball from a lane bully pick, you need to be a great team. KOI has not shown me that they're a great team.
I mean, I didn't hate it that much, though. I feel like it was fine for neutralizing what the Nard did in the top side. You're right, from a counter pick, maybe it doesn't really bring that extra that you're expecting of a Myrwn counter pick, like the Vex was for the Ambessa. But I still think for MKOI, there's so many team issues right now. Some of their fight, the fights that they choose to take, is just not right there. And I feel like in a game like this, the draft was set up for them to still have success, but it's the gameplay element that's lacking from them.
I don't know what they're looking at right now, but
Well,
yeah,
they-
looking at the cue cards with the champions
What are
on
they
it.
giving to each other?
I would ask production to grab this for us and show us later
I think
because
it's
I
the
really want to
champ.
see.
Yeah.
Is it the fearless bands?
It looks like the champs, but I don't
Yeah.
know, they're laughing too much. and
Okay, so it
smiling.
is production confirmed that it is the fearless band, but they might have written something. No, they didn't. Okay,
I
it was
don't
just
know.
boring.
I
Anyway,
just
so
found
yeah,
it very funny, I guess.
they can keep tracks of this. Wrapping up this conversation, I want to ask you, you were talking about Myrwn having a more scaling carry champion. Is top lane influential enough to bet on this?
I mean, it's difficult, but if there's someone who can do it, I think it's Myrwn. How he played the Ambessa yesterday was amazing. He's a great Gwen player. Very hard to get these days, but if he can get either Gwen or Ambessa, I could see it.
Yeah, and I mean, you're going to blue side, right? So it's these blind pickable champions where you really want to make an impact because you're not going to get the counter pick now. And the other guy on Casey's end, you know, Canna, he's quite happy about these counter picks. So, you know, having a matchup Canna might not have played before could be a big edge for MGK.
Let's see what MDK can bring
MKOI.
onto the... and I just repeat what you said.
I
Let's see
set
what
you up for
MKOI...
that.
Thank
That's
you
my
so much,
fault.
GB. That's your fault.
It is.
Back to casters again. too.
That's all right. I took the whole of 2024. Sorry. Yeah, that was last year. It's saying the complete wrong thing. I mean, this year, I've said the complete wrong thing again as well, by the way, so don't worry. It happens to the best of us. I'm Hysterics. I'm joined by Vedius. Now, if you guys haven't heard, I'm sorry, I'm really trying to promote this. We got this new single out. Is it a single in cool musician lingo? It's a single, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so.
You and Dracos did a song called Give Me Chaos.
Yeah.
And that was sick.
I'm glad you liked it.
I did. Actually, like, but you guys
Honestly,
are both artists.
what we were really happy about was the pro player involvement. Like, we really wanted pros in
They
the
were
video,
cool actors.
and they were really into it. They had a great time. They were all really enthusiastic. So
I
give
like
nothing but
Noah
love.
with the glasses.
Yeah,
saying,
that was
give
cool.
me chaos.
We put him in a limo. The limo was awesome.
So they actually got to go around in a limo.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's perks to being a pro player, guys. If you want to do it,
Yeah, just
you can be in the
just
next one.
dedicate your whole life
Yeah.
to League of Legends.
And if you're under 25, 26, if you're starting then, if you're like my age, almost 30.
Hey, well, Faker's 29 this year.
Yeah, but
okay?
he didn't start this year, you know.
Okay,
He
that's-
kind of worked up to that to be
All right,
the
let's
pro.
quickly catch us up through the draft, Hysteric.
You can see there's picks and bans. That's what happens. So the 3 bans on top of each team is where they go. Aurora, while not always nice to watch gameplay-wise, is really S tier right now.
I mean,
Good jungle pairings, you know. Nocturne works well with it.
I still think the champion is bait, personally.
Yeah, I can agree with you.
was really unimpressed with the champion at first stand. I thought Cream's Aurora was awesome.
I mean,
he
that
plays
always
the
is.
champion really well, but I still think in the context of the games, it just didn't matter. So I'm not a fan of the pick, but I understand why teams prioritize her so much. We'll see how well KOI can utilize the pick as Casey respond with a Freljordian theme. Both Ashe and Sejuani locked in a solid front line, good range, solid scaling. Casey deciding to start off with something very simple and straightforward. KOI now contemplating what direction they want to go in.
Now, I know Myrwn. I know Myrwn has a jungle ocean. Champion ocean, as I'm looking at jungle being hovered here. And Ambessa could be an option. Remember, again,
Is this a
flex
Ari,
pick here.
maybe?
You reckon?
When I think of Jojo, I think of champions that he's really comfortable on, and with the rising popularity of the new Ari build, I'm wondering if you
Yeah.
might be thinking about that direction.
So
Of
you
course,
are
that's-
thinking Aurora top.
That is what my assumption is. So maybe they just lock in their AD carry here to keep that flexibility
Right.
open, because the likelihood of Casey just banning out an Ari is very low. But I think that AD or support could make a lot of sense here. Sorry, AD mid laner is what I meant.
Taliyah. Okay.
And yeah, Taliyah is also a great pair up alongside the Xin Zhao. I think that because Xin has such good damage when you pair it with that utility, strategically,
Yeah.
it just works very well. But this does confirm the positioning of Aurora, and I think the reason why they decided to lock in the Taliyah now was they were concerned that Vladi would get his hands on it. So they want to narrow down that mid lane pool a little bit.
There's the Ambessa.
But this is, of course, I think this meta really favors Canna.
Yeah.
I feel like he has so many champions that he can play through. And last split, we heard the team talking about how they want to have him playing carries. That's the best version of KC. And it feels like there's just a lot of great blind pickable carries right now. And
Agreed.
being able to get the Ambessa, they can now pinch any potential counters that they could be concerned about on the top side of the map. Vex, I think, should be one of the... Oh, I say that, but of course, Aurora, they already know that the
I know,
Aurora's
but
coming
you
through.
see that and you see mid like I do, especially
Yes.
watching LPL. You know the other crazy thing about Ambessa right now is that, like, yeah, you can play it into a lot of lanes because the only lanes I've seen Ambessa truly suffer under is the Renekton lane, the Volibear lane. Those two, I think, are like some of the best options into Ambessa that we have.
And that
coming
Vex
through.
lane looked horrible.
Okay, yeah, sorry, the Vex, Vex is so niche that
Yes.
I'm like, I'm not going to present that. I should, though. Disingenuous after we watch Myrwn. Look, regardless, you don't have to do too much thinking. We do the thinking for you. That's what casting's all about. We think so that you can sit at home with your pina colada or your mojito and watch some League of Legends.
Which is obviously the two beverages of choice that you would be
League of
drinking.
Legends fans love cocktails.
Adore them.
Yeah, good for you. Or mocktails, depends on your favoritism.
Oh?
Another melee solo laner.
So, Vladi goes away,
Holy
he
dive.
scrims against Zeka and he says, okay, I get it now. And now he's just brought it back to Europe and he's like, I'm going to be the European Zeka.
Wow.
Silas game 1, Akali game 2. The level of confidence on this man, it synergizes nicely with the Sejuani as well. That's a really powerful top side when in combination with the Sejuani passive. Of course, it's very skirmish heavy. The thing you have to be cautious of in this matchup is that the W from Taliyah is a very difficult thing to have to play around. But yeah, all right. So they're going for a lot more dive on the side of KC, a lot more skirmishing. KOI, on the other hand, rounding out their bot side of the map with the Kai'Sa. I can see it. I don't love it into the matchup against Ashe. I normally like the Kai'Sa when paired up a lot with a decent amount of dive, which right now there's only the Zhao. I think the Nautilus makes a lot of sense when you have skirmishes and their mobility in particular. Nautilus provides a lot more lockdown thanks to his ultimate and his passive and his root. He just has a lot of kit for locking down those mobile carries.
I feel like if you're looking at bot, you know, part of the engage taken away with the Nautilus and Fearless as well. Yeah, I'll limiting KC's options, but thinking about maybe disengage since we are seeing some big pick / dive tools that we already talked about. So for KC, Targamas is going to lock in Renata. Interesting draft.
I like things on both sides.
Yeah, tell me.
I generally love skirmishing comps.
Agreed.
I think that Akali needs that first item before she can really start to fight you. Once she gets level 6, she will have some options as well. When paired alongside a Sejuani, I just think that the champion excels a lot more. The bot side of the map is going to have push in favor of KC.
Yep.
The push is going to go in favor of KOI in the mid lane. I think that early mid-jungle skirmishing avenue before Akali gets those levels, before the items come through, is where KOI really can find those advantages if they look to try and play through mid. On the top side of the map, I just generally believe in Myrwn's lane phase. I think he's a very reliable laner. And you can see the team fight elements, but the composition from KOI, I think, wants to do one too many different things.
Yeah, I get that.
I feel like that Supa wants to be able to dive in the team fight and have that mobility against a very mobile composition on the side of KC. You also have Jojo that wants to kind of play through side lanes, also wants to be able to collapse and create numbers advantages, and then you've got the strong team fighter in Aurora. So I think that while there are strong tools on the side of KOI, I don't really love the way that their composition synergizes together, but maybe I'll be proven wrong as we jump into the game.
Well, KC already started off with a bang. Let's go. Best of 3 Fearless, and KC, despite being so early into the series, that's what I said last game, they pulled out an interesting draft. They do it again. And we're going to start with a pause. Oh, yeah! Fnatic, not even here today. Oh, hell yeah. Who spilt it? Let's have a look. Look at the tables.
Hey, good news.
No water was spilt.
Good news.
What's the good news?
I see ready checks already.
Already?
Yep.
No.
Yep.
Surely not.
Ready.
Are you going to say ready in the chat just in case?
No. I don't think I can type in the chat. Do not test that.
Supa said to Caliste, Caliste, you stopped because you look too good. Oh my, what the blaze? Yo! Supa got some riz. Nice one, okay. We're about to get back in the game. I love all chat. Caliste didn't respond though, so I think that's the true riz, you know? That's when you really stand your ground and go, I know. You know, I know. Wow. We'll update you if there's any call and response between AD carries. Any further.
Co-caster has gone.
If it was the wrong thing to say, Betty, you've now committed. You've said it too.
You remind me so much of like a dad trying to be cool with his kids.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Listen, we're millennials. We don't use words like riz.
I am millennial. I was born in '95. I'm a millennial.
That's what I'm saying. We're millennials.
Oh, I thought you said,
we don't use language like
we
riz.
Millennials, like you and some other people.
No, we. You know what I mean? We say.
Yes, we.
Our word, we say that was sick. You know what I mean? That was our type of.
I used to say fully sick. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Hackers. I used to say like hectic. Hackers.
Okay, that sounds like Australian slang.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. We didn't really speak properly. We still don't actually. No, you should hear.
Oh, in the UK we used to say that's well proper.
Well proper.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
well
innit?
proper.
Yeah. Okay. Well, for everyone else who wants to try speaking the English language, I recommend starting with
Don't go to the UK. It's not a helpful.
But don't go to Australia. And then some people say don't go to the US. So I don't know where you should go. Pick French.
No, just learn from people who've learned the language outside of the English-speaking countries, and you'll get a much better experience.
I think Scottish is proper English.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because sometimes I can't understand it, but I have a lot of fun listening to it now. You're wondering how the lanes are going to start? I'm sure Vedius will walk you through the introduction because 2v2s are just...
I can tell you right now, for KOI, it ain't going to be fun.
It ain't fun at all. I mean, Renata's auto attacks make it very annoying. And this is what you said, right? You know, into the Ashe. I didn't feel like it was ever going to be pretty.
But if we look at the minimap, it's not all bad for KOI. If we turn our attention over towards mid lane, Akali cannot gain priority in the early laning phase. It is not a fun matchup, and you will just consistently get bullied.
Just like last game.
Jojo looking to exert that pressure as much as possible. Meanwhile, on the top side of the map, it's a similar situation. Canna is very cooldown gated within the early levels. So even if you know that you can skirmish later on, just the simple range advantage, the passive, you can just see how easy it is for Myrwn to sidestep. Now Yike looking for a gank early in the mid lane.
Very early, Targamas shove connects so onto Vladi. There might be a 1-for-1. Jojo already flashes out of the way, and he wants that Akali. Just out of his grasp as he's now level 3, but flashes down.
A nice gank from Yike. Much needed, I would say. Hook will connect from Alvaro.
Oh, and Caliste took damage under turret, or rather dished it out. So his flash and barrier were just taken away.
Beautiful hook there from Alvaro. Given that Kai'Sa were trying to harass underneath the tower, he's able to punish him and force those summoner spells out. So summoner's already burnt across the board. Perhaps a repeat gank option in the mid lane for Kai'Sa, and a bot lane gank possibility for KOI. With Elyoya being on the top side of the map, unlikely that we're going to see that in the immediate future. But on his first base, pathing towards that bot side is when this Kai'Sa duo needs to be cautious.
Despite that flash, I mean, first plate is still looking good here as the 2v2. Might be a little bit harder if that hook connects again, but for now, you are still seeing Kai'Sa reap the rewards. Yike is looking for that bottom side scuttle, and vice versa, Elyoya after getting top scuttle and being a little bit quicker on the clear, he has managed to get a deep ward.
And I will say, when we look at the map how it is, this is why I'm happy that lane swaps have gone. Not only due to the more versatility in champions that we see in the top lane, but also just teams have the ability to have parts of the map that they can play through, whether it be through your winning one side of the map, or potentially trying to look for overextensions and then punish the overextensions on the bot side of the map, rather than trying to make all these clever macro genius plays to find these small windows and the inevitable tower dive.
We're back to normal chess, you know?
Just traditional normal chess. And speaking of, we talked about the flashless AD carry. Hook will connect.
Alvaro rides the wall. Caliste in trouble. Remember, no summoners available. Targamas helps out with a small shield, but Elyoya can be hand shook and taken back. All they can do is send out some damage. But for KOI, they're going to wave to push in and a low health Ashe.
It's a valuable play still from Elyoya, simply due to the fact that they delay the recalls from Caliste and Targamas. They have time to push out this bot wave. They actually keep them around in the bot lane, which means that Supa can get a nice back off. And even though he'll still be down in CS, it's a good opportunity. Now, I don't love that they cancelled their bases. This would have been a great back timer. Instead, they're now going to be... Are they going to stick around for another wave?
Ooh.
I think they are.
I mean, KC.
So now everyone's overextending, and this is where things get a little bit... I mean, it gets very dangerous for KOI, because you have to be cautious of the possibility of a Yike gank. Oh, I stand corrected, actually. Supa did go back to base, it was just the icon. My apologies. Alvaro just going to be holding the wave.
Don't apologize, it's okay. Yeah, sometimes we make mistakes, Vedius. It's all right. You're human just like everyone else, aren't you?
Am I?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we just see a face who is a singer, songwriter, rapper, artist, you know, food aficionado.
That just sounds like I've got a lot of free time.
Writer. What else do you do? Gamer, caster, host, analyst.
Wow, very generous of you.
Jeez, Vedi.
I feel like you can also do all of those things.
I don't know, bro. I've never rapped in my... I did rap back you once.
That was fun.
And, you know, I got better. I got 100% better in the second one, but we didn't get past that. Rapping is hard.
Now,
you have to think. That's the problem, you know.
Objectives being traded across the map. And as our teams do this, I want to remind people of how these teams... Ooh, I might not have time for that, as KC have set their sights onto Jojo.
And there's a flash handshake. It's not going to connect over to Targamas. He still gets some damage across. The autos are important as Vladi sets up with a perfect execution and a perfect balance for first blood. Flash over the wall. Alvaro's getting out of there because Jojo's now dead.
Return on the gank investment from earlier, paying off as Vladi secures a kill onto Jojo. Largely a solo kill, given that Targamas wasn't able to connect the handshake. But the damage from Vladi once you hit that level 6 mark, proving lethal as he finds a kill.
Now, I think I know where you're going to go, because we work together as a team. And Vedius, you're going to be like, oh, let's look at Winter, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
Oh, that's not your voice.
That was a perfect representation, actually. But as you can see, this rivalry was very one-sided at the beginning of the year. And it looks like that the trend is looking to continue. But of course, this KC roster have largely just found winning ways so far this year, and they're looking to replicate that at the beginning of spring. Vladi with a nice little trade there after connecting the E. Elyoya has to hover, so Vladi can't really look for anything more. He also doesn't have the ultimate available, so he's going to be forced back to base. Top and mid still overall going in favor of KOI. Again, Myrwn finding laning advantages in the isolated 1v1 is where a lot of the gold lead is sitting in favor of KOI, but the rest of the map largely going in favor of KC.
Well, painful Ashe players, you once again remind yourself that that E has no mana, and sets up the fact that, well, Yike's probably going to be coming bot sometime soon, right? Or excuse me, rather, Elyoya. Yike is hovering. Elyoya's coming for a dangerous path. Jojo's coming over a ward as well. They know a gank's happening, but Targamas is almost dead before the play starts. Arrow at melee range won't get much of a stun as MKOI there in front of Caliste, who flies to the wayside, being shoved down, and even though he'll be bailed out, there's no reset on the horizon. Yike has to abandon the play, and KOI find the double that they sought after.
Ooh, top lane.
Is it going to be a kill, though? It's just Myrwn getting out with an ult for ult.
The exchange of ultimates between the two top laners as Vladi picks up a plate during the aftermath of what was a great gank from KOI, leveraging the roaming power of Taliyah to set up for a bot lane play. Targamas was overextended in the lane. No level 6 meant that he didn't have his ultimate to potentially turn the play around. And even though Yike did arrive, it was too little, too late. And KC ended up losing their whole bot lane off the back of that, giving Jojo a much-needed kill and handing a kill over to Supa as well.
Well, gold hasn't really gone anywhere off the back of it. I mean, 500 in the lead.
Vladi.
Kills are important, as you said, as Vladi's going to set up for one of his own onto Canna and Myrwn. Getting involved in their lane. Sure, Flip doesn't connect, but at least the damage does. Vladi secures it. Canna gets out after tanking the turret shot as well. Nice dive.
Get the flash out from Myrwn. A kill handed over to Vladi, and this Akali is really starting to run away with it. Of course, the game is still in a very even state, but your AD carry starts to get a lot more afraid when the mid lane assassin starts to pick up these kills. Another plate can be funneled over to Vladi. As KOI, though, they're not resting on their laurels, attacking the bot side of the map, leveraging their bot lane pressure to move into Yike's jungle, steal away that blue buff, and do what they can to put pressure on the map.
But Canna jumping into Jojo with the sides being shut. The damage is still enough. He jumps in, he lacerates. Runs back out with a Drakehound step, and Jojo's at half HP. That's only a more of Malmortis with 2 longswords, by the way, but already you can see this Ambessa is able to deal with not 1 but 2 solo laners. And the pause is there. What in the glorp is that?
What in the glorp?
Yeah.
I'm sure that when we have more information, we can share what the glorp is, in fact.
That's right. A swear word or something, but you don't have to be scared of it.
No, I'm trying to understand if this is more of your Australian mannerisms.
No, just a little alien cat thing, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that makes it better.
Just so you know.
Once we have more information, we will share it with you. But also, there's a thing at the bottom of your screen that you can have a look at. See if we got our last updated.
Can you imagine, right?
I
one
can
day,
imagine a lot of things.
Aliens will visit, right? Let's just say
Oh,
aliens
good. We're
visit,
going
right?
straight here.
Yeah,
All right, then. Yeah, okay.
Imagine aliens visit. They come to Earth and they see Twitch chat. Did they think,
Oh, my goodness.
let's turn
Well,
let's turn around.
whose chat? Because the chats vary very significantly. Like, Carnage has a lovely chat,
Yeah.
okay? He has a very wholesome, conversation-driven chat.
Yep.
If you go to, like, Forsen, it's
Yeah.
a very different chat
It
over
is
there.
a very different chat.
Yeah, and then, I mean, there's just another chat, which is just XDDs everywhere.
I mean, can you imagine aliens seeing that and be like, what is this?
Yeah.
How do we explain this?
I mean, and they'll also question why everyone thinks that a cat is in fact a rat, because
Yeah.
fun fact, XDD is in fact a cat.
No, it's
Yes,
not.
it is.
No, un-XDD is a cat.
No, XDD is actually, it's a cat.
No, that's a rat.
No, again, this is why the aliens would be questioning it is in fact a cat.
That is not a cat.
No, it is.
I think that would break the wall for all the chatters, though.
Yeah, but it's like, it's...
Hey,
Macarena.
Hey.
Hey!
Oh, hell yeah. Wait, this is what I get behind.
Hey, Macarena.
Oh my god, I love our audience. Macarena.
I still remember it, yeah. Woo! That was great.
Now we're going to get copyright. Oh, man. I grew up, like, in Australia, that is a classic. I don't know, like, if the rest of the world, I would assume the rest of the world.
It is a classic.
It's a global classic, right? It was just big.
That's again how you know that we're millennials.
Yeah.
Do you still know how to do it?
Actually, yeah, I mean, a lot of the new generation, I talk about new generation league all the time. They probably don't know what that is.
Probably.
You know, like, oh, that's funny. Where did that come from? Oh, it's a League of Legends dance. You know, it's like, bro.
Please no.
Bro,
Please never.
No. They're the kind of people that be like, that comes from Fortnite, surely. Now, I have found out what's going on. We're getting into game. That's what. Don't worry. There was a pause. You can look at the faces a little bit longer until...
We're back in the
Hell yeah. Now, it doesn't matter what the issue was. There was a driver issue, a driver schmiver. It doesn't matter. We're into the game again. It's just calming, you know? Like, some people have therapists. Some people go to yoga. Other people play League of Legends.
You need a filter, okay? Grubs spawning in 15 seconds.
I thought League of Legends was my filter.
50 seconds
every day.
until the dragon. We can already see the resets coming through. Caliste's made his way up from the bottom side of the map to be ready to contest these grubs. Looks like KC have no interest in handing over all 6 to their opposition. Vladi going to be making his way to go and catch the bot wave. Has the TP should any fight kick off. And it looks like, given the positioning of Elyoya, it's going to be a difficult contest. They're likely just going to set their sights on the dragon, which is going to be respawning shortly after. Pings have come down. I'm actually, the luxury of getting to see the chat is Casey is aware that the dragon is spawning.
That's good.
The question is, do they want to try and contest it?
Well, grubs are eventually going to be taken here, and that'll give Yike the time to start walking down. But dragon spawns now. That grub took a little bit longer than I expected, but eventually Yike has taken it as Elyoya's already started this off with Jojo, and just a bit of vision from Caliste sees that KOI already on this at half
They want to fight this. They have the Ashe arrow. All the ultis are up.
For the hostile takeover, the arrow, as you said, comes out, but the dragon is smoked down as Caliste is just yaunched on by Supa and Jojo. He didn't even get a chance. The dive, the burst, the pick worked out nice for KOI. Is now running after more members. Targamas in a choke is going to be between worlds. He handshakes and says, no, I'll stay in this one. Flashing over the wall, escapes the turmoil from KOI as they find not only the objective, even though Elyoya dies, to get a trade kill.
Yeah, so there are pros and cons for both sides here. Of course, the big win for KOI is that they're able to secure the dragon. The downside is that Myrwn committed the TP expecting a larger fight, but KC immediately disengaged from that, meaning that they were able to avoid any further casualties. But I love the target selection from KOI, recognizing Caliste only has the protection of Yike. Nice flash hook comes in from Alvaro. Yike sets his sights on trying to secure the dragon, meaning that the AD carry is completely exposed. The smite comes through, but then Myrwn arrives. KC recognized this, immediately tried to disengage, having used all of their tools already. And that allows free reign for Canna on that top tower. So he's able to get himself some plates. And ultimately, it ends up being a fairly even trade.
KOI look happy about it though, and at least stopping the dragon stacking feels good. But KC, as you mentioned, Canna once again, well, this happened last game where Canna just got to stay in the lane, get some turret plating and push for an individual advantage. You know, Vladi did the same thing a couple of plays ago as well. And Vladi's also up 500 gold in this game. Look at it, 3 kills, by the way. Protobelt, needlessly large. This Akali has 6 stacks of the Dark Seal. Gotta really zoom in on that. White on grey just does not, it's like my eyes, it's like I feel like I'm going blind.
You are correct though, 6 stacks. I wonder if he'll go for the Magi. Again, I love this version of Vladi. We were already hyped about him, but we knew him for his Victor.
Yeah, Captain Jackspektra there from Supa.
Nice cleanse comes through from him. But yeah, we knew him for his control mages. His Victor was being banned at first stand as well, and then he opens the split with Silas and Akali.
Yeah, as you said, I love the call, Betty. Before you're like, you know, he's definitely emulating Zeka.
You had one tournament against Zeka, and he's like, yeah, no, yeah, this is my new idol. Yeah. I'm a play like him. And I mean, his game 1, I would say he was relatively low impact. That game was largely about Yike.
Yeah.
But game 2, I mean, he's going to have to be the carry in this one. He's getting mega fed. He's very much ahead of the curve, and this Akali is going to be a problem.
Feels like once again, I mean, Supa's in a decent position, but how he survives against the Akali is also going to be a good question. Is next thing to look at. All right, Dragon 2 minutes, 145 till Herald and top. KOI already sitting up, and that's just Supa by himself as Yike sends out the ulti. He gets slow, but no connection. Supa tries to play with his life, and his life indeed he does play with.
Had the flash as well. I think Casey was fishing for something. Weren't able to find anything though. Look at the positioning of Elyoya. He has his sights set on Caliste. Happy B emote comes through though as he looks for a reset. And neither team really going to convert that into anything. So you can see both teams always looking for plays wherever they can find them. I really feel like I overused the word fishing.
We have both today. We have loved fishing
really
today.
Really need to
reel it in. Oh, good one.
Good one.
Thank you. Sorry, I normally just talk to myself, so I just prepare just in case you didn't like it.
Now, fortunately for us, we don't have to yap much longer because objectives are spawning soon. Neither team has really been able to play towards the side lane. There's so much wave clear on either side with things like the Taliyah especially, and if you overextend, there's the risk of the collapse too. So often you'll see like an investment onto one side of the map. Maybe they can overstack and play towards an objective, but towers really haven't been the name of the game here in game 2. 0-0 is the tower score. The gold dead even. First items completed with a few components. The Seraph's not quite fully stacked there for Jojo, which is, I mean, in terms of the mid lane itemization difference, that's going to be one of the big things that KOI have to be cautious of.
Some kind of orbital sound here. It's like a Sunday morning, someone's got the blower out there blowing the leaves. Is there a Summoner's Rift Gardener? Can you hear it? You hear it?
Yeah,
when we go towards this little like banana bush here.
Yeah.
And there's a...
There it is.
Who's blowing the leaves? What is that noise?
I have no idea.
Is it the fruit?
I thought it was like
fruit?
I thought it was like a bug with the lens, but it's not the Oracle's lens.
I don't know what it is, but like, yeah, it's like 7 AM and I'm trying to sleep. Can you stop?
But it's very specifically in that area
in
too.
That bush. Sometimes the League of Legends always, I mean, Corky Gatling, I'm just so glad we've seen less Corky, because that's so annoying.
I love that League just keeps introducing new features like this, you know? Ambient noise. You can't unhear it now, and the fact that you've pointed that out to everyone.
What is it? I need to know, you know?
Well, I don't have an answer for you, I'm afraid.
Okay.
I wish I did, but I don't.
You'll create one, I'm sure.
I mean, I'm happy to buy into your leaf blower theory.
I just think someone's there, like, someone's going to be gardening. Caliste has got both B emotes, by the way, as KOI start up Herald. And as we go through, and I'm sorry again to everyone who I've just, you know, the glass cracking That's kind of how I see that one there. Dragon starts on bot side, but Jojo and Vladi going to meet up for the time being. Seismic Shove connects and sets up for some good poke damage, but Vladi's okay for now. Jojo tries to clear the way, but that was mega clean from Vladi. He's not going to take the Shuriken flip back in. He takes his ulti out because more members of KOI are coming up.
Yeah, he wisely recognizes the collapse that's happening from KOI. And so he chooses to use his ultimate to create some space between him and his opposition.
Oh, yes.
But I don't think he's... Yeah, he can't really convert that into a tower. So again, the towers largely remain unscathed. No sieging has really occurred in this game. Vladi going to TP back to top lane, knowing that there's no real objective to play for. I was anticipating more of a skirmish. There's the Shadow Flame now completed for Vladi. I love this item on Akali. It's a really nice spike, these two items.
Yeah.
Herald being dropped in mid. All right, will this be the first tower of the game falling? I think it should be. The anticipation is building.
Oh,
it is! Like Lord of the Rings, the entryway to Gondor falls.
Yes. I was thinking more Helm's Deep with that one. You know, like the orc that kind of sacrifices himself.
To blow open the wall.
Yeah.
I will say, significant structural defect, leaving that drainage completely exposed.
I mean, that was so silly.
Elements.
Why not just
So
make more
silly.
wall?
I agree, very much so.
Why does it need to drain? I guess you're there for a long time and, you know.
Why not a pipe over? You know what I mean?
True.
Just
Or what about out the back? Because they were obviously just at the front of
so
Helm's
many
Deep.
plot holes in Lord of the Rings.
I mean,
so many.
God, yeah, don't get me started about the Eagles.
Don't get me started.
Right, we're the Eagles at the start. But then again, it was about the journey. You know, if the Eagles just came through in the first movie, we wouldn't have gotten 3 of them.
Quite right.
And, you know, I wouldn't have...
Again, you said don't start you, and you're starting on the Eagles, so let's...
I cried so much in Lord of the Rings, man.
Let's look at this instead, baby.
Bounce to no one, Canna. Dredgeline comes through, depth charge sets him up, he flashes into a wall, but that wall sends him out. That's a weird interaction.
That was.
Okay.
Kind of got...
If Helm's Deep was like that,
No,
no one's
stop.
getting through.
He got bounced out. Jojo gonna push in one more wave on the bot side of the map. We had an exciting early game, which has tapered off as trades have happened across the board. Top lane tower ended up falling. 2-1 in towers in favor of KOI for the time being. I was about to use the word fishing again, but they're scouring. It's Yike is scouring for information.
They're collecting. What other hobbies do you do?
Oh my goodness, why are you so determined to go off topic?
Because I just think when you're talking about fishing, I just think, what else can you do? Netting. You know, like catching crabs and lobsters and stuff. Oh, especially loud.
Myrwn's on awards.
Is indeed. He's going to get spotted out. His hand shook, and now Glacial Fish it down into a prison. Myrwn is dead. In front of Atakan, good for KC.
Yeah, that's a massive pick. Easily opens up the Atakan. And the Flowers going to be giving a massive experience advantage in favor of KC. KOI not really in a position to contest this. They're not even going to try. They'll look to cross-map. They push in mid-wave. They can consider stealing away the blue buff. Looks like that's going to be the game plan for now. Oh, actually, maybe they're looking for a play onto Canna. He's out of position here.
It's a nice ulti from Canna, though, to get out before he gets in. And now, with Lacerate, he gets some distance as Hysterics Gauge comes in and try to get him under Tara, but no cigar. Supa has to ulti in, but Canna's still healthy enough. Q's out. He's going to get bailed out, but still dead. Elyoya makes sure of that one. Well, KOI's die eventually works out, but KC on the run. Teleport defensively. KOI going to have 5 members. KC still thinking about it. Can we? Can't we? Betty, what do you think?
I think that it's a very difficult play to force. In fact, KC may be the ones overextending.
Maybe they are. Vladi's the first port of engage. He's seismic shoved. He's kept in place. He's bailed out, but no execution. Yike as well. As Quiet punished the over-aggression. KC thought, oh yeah, we'll give it a crack, but you're not Dagda. Indeed, KC falling at the whim, blown apart. A massive mistake from our first stand finalist.
It's an ace for KOI. Just like that, they've blown the game wide open. It felt like after getting that pick, getting the Atakan on the top side, it was KC's game to lose, but a single ace has now flipped the game on its head. Canna, caught out of position, utilizes the ultimate to try and create space between him and KOI. The shielding comes through from Targamas to keep him alive, but then Supa I mean, he uses the ultimate to find that pick. I don't think he had enough damage. Canna thought that he could get a kill, and he makes a misplay. Ends up losing his life. Now, at this point, KC don't realize that it's a 5 versus 3. They don't have their AD carry available, and they've already lost their top laner. The value of Nautilus against Akali is the chain CC that you have, and without being able to utilize that mobility, he gets locked down and converted into kills. Now, this dive surprised me, but again, with all 5 members, it's an easy one to execute. And KOI, now with a 3.5k gold leads, Dragon is available, easy to pick up for themselves.
And another pick potentially. Vladi just flashes away. He's got that ulti. Sure can flip away. Arrow flies through. KC have started this Dragon, but they cannot complete it. KOI are in position. And with a 3.5k gold lead after that massive ace, after those picks that launch them into control in this game, they are not letting this go. They want to fight once again, and Alvaro sets it up with a dredge line. Vladi's coming from a flank, but Targamas is burning the midnight oil. Down and down he'll go with Supa. Finds Caliste in backline. The international AD carries no more, and Supa reigns again. He finds his target, and now for KC, they'll find nothing but Kaufman with nail, and Yike, the final one through the heart of it all, will drop as well.
Alvaro has landed so many crucial hooks in this game, and he finds another one onto Targamas. The ulti had not come off cooldown yet, which means that with no ulti available, he converts it into a nice pick. The fight becomes very scattered as Supa becomes the target for Vladi, but then he uses his ultimate to immediately set his sights on Caliste. So keep your eyes on Alvaro here. Connects the hook onto Targamas in a 4 versus 5. The flank from Vladi looks very scary, but look at Supa. He can't get collapsed on. Instead, he works with Myrwn to lock down Caliste and get that kill, and then Vladi committing super deep to try and get at the very least a kill back, but he cannot find anything. A 1-team fight, a Dragon secured, and now this feels like it's KOI's game to lose.
Very good one, Vedius. Super deep, I get it. I feel like for KOI, I mean, now they're just ramping up. They've got momentum, and while a lot of people at home would sit and think, momentum's such a cringe, overused thing, it really feels like after that play, KOI have seized it and taken it in this game. 3 items almost there for Supa, who's going for the crit Kai'Sa build that we are seeing more and more over in LPL, especially at the moment. The dueling is insane, and against Sejuani, no chance. Count that Ambessa in there too.
But look at the goal difference as well and how it's swung. The itemization is absolutely massive in favor of KOI, and that Akali that seemed so terrifying with the 4-0 scoreline now feels much more manageable with an experience equalization, I should say. Remember, the Artican secured earlier did give a big advantage to KC, but Jojo has been able to catch back up. He's going to tick over to level 15 soon. The Zhonya's is extremely valuable for him. He's working on the Void staff next. Those 6 Dark Seal stacks now disappeared, and this composition gets harder and harder for KC to execute. They're going to have to find some scraps on a side lane, leverage some of the skirmishing power that they have, because it feels like in the full-on 5v5, KOI just gets the better of KC.
Might happen again. I mean, Yike's in this lane. Jojo's going to spot it out. Yike is on the wrong side of dodge right now. Holds off on his back. Jojo doesn't fully commit, as Baron is still the thought here. Elyoya just clearing out vision, and there'll be none there in the pit. Does KOI have full control? Rivet's moving up, and you see Alvaro drops a ward of his own. Elyoya's going to accompany him. Jojo looks for a bit of earth onto Vladi, pokes him out. Yike still trying to play it sneaky. I see you! Dredge line not going to connect though. Yike is just going to walk this out for now, but Jojo, all he needs is a seismic shove, set down the rocks, and ulti set out from Yike to survive, but he's dead in an instant. Dredge line not going to connect, and Supa gets that kill. Yike tried to play, but he got outplayed.
That should be an easy Baron. No jungler available for KC. KOI looking to bring us to a game 3. They were able to do this against G2 yesterday, but they found their footing here in game 2. And now they've taken firm control. Baron is going to be uncontested, I feel.
Yep.
No smite, no stealing options. A tower, I should say, on the other side. And now they've set their sights onto Vladi.
They have indeed. He tried to just get deep in the way. I'm not sure what he's doing here, in fact. His depth charge will make it an easy connection. Seismic shove makes it a bounce house, and all in all, Vladi just gets erupted by Jojo. He's had a good lane in both games, granted the matchup, but Jojo is showing a little bit more class here today in game 2 as KOI now moved to 7k.
What a turnaround play from KOI. It feels as though KC have just been punishing the mistakes of KOI in this series, but finally, KOI were the ones to punish the overextension of KC. the bravado that they were playing with ends up being shut down. And now with this Baron, KOI sailing high with the wind in their sails, looking to secure another tower.
I did not know boats could be crewed by fish. And again, we've learned a lot of things here today. And not only can this KOI swim, it's starting to grow legs. Vedius in a turret goes down as Supa just going to walk down from this arrow. 9k gold lead. 27 minutes into the game. Enhanced Baron recall, Targamas. Oi, 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 oi.
TP invested, but they're not going to find a pick.
That was a... I guess
And
TP
now,
just takes 10 years now.
There's
so.
no 10p, there's no TP.
There's no 10p either. That is true. I'm not sure what that is, but...
Yeah, I mean, Vladi's now just going to awkwardly be stuck in the top lane. Remember I talked about experience being relatively even earlier? Now Jojo's about to tick over to level 17.
Do you think if they had 10p, they would...
Stop.
they'd be able to win this game? What
Stop.
is 10p?
KOI are running away with things now. It feels like Casey's options are extremely limited. Another tower falls, getting so much value out of this Baron. The Red Bull Baron power play, 3.7k.
Oh, yeah. Looks like it's only going to grow a little bit more. A minute left of it. Maybe enhanced recall. Stopping Vladi could be the next option as well as he looks for some side pressure, but the Akali's not going to push that quick. Just simply the wave for now, backs off while Dragon number 3 for KOI is an easy take. And I am glad to say it looks like we're going to get our second game 3 of LEC Spring.
Looks like it. Especially seeing as how I felt it was very one-sided in game 1.
One-sided.
It's nice to see KOI. Well, this was a very even game pretty throughout the early game. A lot of trading back and forth. I mean, it felt so slow just because these teams weren't really contesting each other over anything. They were all just willing to trade dragons for grubs and heralds for dragons, and we didn't see the first tower fall until like 20 minutes into the game. So, first big fight went KOI's way. Now they're looking to bring us to a game 3, and again, I talk in absolutes just because the goal deficit is so huge for KC. Just in terms of raw itemization, we're kind of at a point in the game where KOI, even if they don't have an optimal fight, they likely can just get away with it due to the wallet advantage that they have.
Well, bigger wallets are proven to be heavier. If you knew anything about gravity, that would... Gravity? Wait, physics. Sorry, I don't know science well. Heavier wallets are more expensive and heavier and hold more things.
It's an expression.
Yeah, it is. I've got more money, so I'm going to slap you with it. That's what it means. I'm sure when Atlas started talking about heavy wallets, he definitely started talking about all the cash in it.
Right.
And the coins, especially the coins. If people with a bag of coins, that's going to hurt. Let's see how Elyoya, how many euros in his pocket is. It's just a simple takeaway from Yike because he doesn't want to give any more jungle camps to Elyoya, and he tries to speed this away as quickly as possible. Let's just note, another Baron's up in 2 minutes. KOI are going to see how they can get into the base with a 10k gold lead. What are you thinking about, Vedi?
Well, I'm thinking about how KOI actually end this game, because it feels like that they should just be able to do it. And I'm not really sure why they're not, because you could just group up mid and bot and just siege. I would argue that they don't necessarily need the Baron, and I don't think that KC have enough wave clear to necessarily stop them if they really wanted to.
That is a good point.
Because, like, again, Ashe is really the only wave clear that they have.
Yep.
Akali's not very good at clearing waves. So, I don't know, I guess KOI is just taking their time.
Why not? I guess. But you're right.
Because Baron's spawning in a minute 20, which is fine. The only problem with waiting for Baron is that you just give KC another potential way back into the game.
Yeah.
If Yike steals it, then the game very much changes.
And Yike is the king of steals these days, I will say.
Ooh, he might be dead.
He might indeed. He has to flash out of the way. It's an Arctic assault. That Baron time is still a ways off, but now that flash makes it less likely that Yike can do exactly what we just talked about.
Yep, that's good. Good control of KOI over the topside jungle, reminding KC that they're really not allowed to leave their base. Mid can be pushed in. It looks like Jojo wants to go and answer that bot wave. TPs are available across the boards. Ashe Arrow will likely be back up in time for the Baron. But yeah, it looks like KOI really taking their time with this one. Want to make sure that they can close this one out cleanly. Level 18 now for Jojo as well. very scary KOI. KC are going to have to find some miracle pick to be able to turn this game around. Look at how fed Supa is as well. 4 fully completed items. That is one scary Kai'Sa.
You're about to find out how. Elyoya thinking about an engage. Yike just going to face check for now. What else can you do as KOI hang around the wings, try to use vision to their merit? You can see in bot, I mean, Canna at least getting pushed in the sideways. The objective bounties are available. But Yike, as he tries to drag midway, is playing with fire himself. He runs into Myrwn. I'm not sure if he knew he was in there, but Arrow buys him some time, and Yike is going to run for his life. But yes, he is indeed dead. Baron is up, and that's going to be a freebie.
I mean,
it wasn't already.
That was very questionable. All right, well, the outcome of that is that will be an uncontested Baron for KOI. I guess you can say that KC securing that bot tier 2 is at the very least something. But now with this Baron, that should be enough to allow for MKOI to begin their siege and look to try and end this game.
Surely 10k in Baron. Sure. That's enough of a lead. You got Magi's on Jojo. They just got to spike the ball down. Been in air for whoever knows long. Nah.
However long.
However, who knows long. That's it.
Oh, that's it.
Words are hard. This is why I can't learn another language. I haven't even mastered the first one. That's what you get when you live upside down. Now.
Oh, they're going to get Dragon as well. All right.
Okay, why not? You know what? Yeah, get it. Let's have a fight. Well, I'd love a fight. No more passive League of Legends. Let's get it. All right, Myrwn on the flank, sees Canna, Canna sees Myrwn. That's done and dusted. 4v4 through the river as Vladi finds an angle onto Supa. Remember, they're 10k gold down, and Supa shows it to Targamas. Jumping in, Vladi does a good job, as Canna's ulti's not too bad itself, but maybe it is just a wallet dip in the end. It would look good if they were even, but KC way too far behind. All Hail Marys thrown out, and now game 3, we're well on the way.
I mean, Supa just makes it so difficult for Vladi to find any assassination attempt. The moment that Vladi found the flank, Supa dotted to the other side of the team fight, creating so much space between him and Vladi, allowing him to get that kill onto Caliste. They lock down Vladi, get the kill onto him, and they're looking to bring us to game 3.
And we're starting to get an answer. We ask, can fish climb walls? Well, if they are blue, they sure as well can try. We're going to a game 3 after one massive team fight. That was a slow burner. But KOI got the fight in them here. They try and get revenge for winter playoffs.
KOI will find their first win of the year against this iteration of KC, and it was a much needed one. Single round robin, best of 3. These matchups against the top teams are important when it comes to fighting for playoffs, and so a win for both sides is going to be important as we get closer to game 3.
Well, a game 3 we are, though, and a best of 3 fearless. This is what comes out of the hat here as we throw to Shox, who's standing by somewhere. Where's the camera going to take us?
Right here with Movistar KOI, people who have been cheering so loudly, and luckily they get a game 3. I'm here with, what's your name?
Adrian.
Adrian
And Xavi.
Adrian and Xavi, I'll start with you, Adrian. I mean, you are here with so many people. You were waiting for a long time yesterday. Can you tell me why you felt it was so important to be here with all this strength for your team, specifically in week 1 of the LEC?
Well, I think for the team it's really important to have us here. I think we are cheering up a lot of. Well, our strength is really big, and the question is telling us that, so I think it's important for the guys.
Yes, absolutely. And it's working, very much so. Now, when it comes to the team, and maybe Jojo and the integration, he hasn't had the easiest time, right? But I know a lot of you are wearing a Jojopyun t-shirt. So what do you want to say kind of about him and to make it work with the team?
No, it's basically Jojopyun for us. It's really important. We know that it's our mid lane. It's really a hard her position, and we're trying to push him all the time that we can do it for him. Stay with him, cheer for her, and it's so difficult her position. And I try to do all together, support for him, and keep pushing with him.
Yes, absolutely. The positive energy, I love it. One more game to go. As we go to break, shall we do the Macarena? Shall we? Okay, 1, 2, 3.
3, 2, 1. Toda tu perdonería Macarena y tu vuelta para la alegría. Hey, Macarena! Let's go to break!
Never gonna settle for those boring plays, no way. Give me chaos. Never gonna feed, but we will create some space. Give me chaos. Greedy for the glory, so we're only chasing dreams. Making titles, trophies, highlights, international memes.